joined, so we could start. Could someone confirm if you guys can hear me well and see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, well, but we can hear you as well. I can see the screen as well.
Great, thank you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, enough. Few confirmations are enough. Thank you. Let's start, guys. So now we have been discussing data centers. We discussed data center. What is there in data center? We have storage. We have servers, etc. We learned everything. After that, we said, okay, now these services are being available, or this could be used over the internet via Azure and AWS. But how to do that? Right? Let's get practical now. How to do that? So to achieve something or to deal with them, you will have to you'll definitely require a laptop and a browser, and you will have to go to their portal and request for something. Let's say that you want to request for a virtual machine. So you'll have to go to their portal and you will have to mention these details that I want a virtual machine. This should be the size, this should be the RAM, this should be the hard disk, operating system, etc. Right? But how can you do that? Can anyone directly go and have a virtual machine? Or at least you need some sort of, let's say you don't require any money, but you'll require some sort of identification, that who are you, which company do you belong to, are you an individual, right? Anyone will ask that. So even when you go to Azure will ask you these details, that who are you, do you have an account with me? Even if it is free or a pay as you go account, create an account with me and then I'll let you use my services. So that's how it works. So to utilize the services on Azure, we go to portal.azure.com. Either you can type that, here it is, portal.azure.com, or you can simply Google search portal Azure login or Azure portal login, whatever you get, right? And then you click on that link, on the login link, right? Or you click anywhere and ultimately it will take you to the login page. You click here, you go to sign in, or you click here, it will take you to somewhere. Here you have signing page also. Here it is taking you, I mean, no matter from where you go, you have to come to this page, and it's very simple. You simply just have to type Microsoft Azure portal login, portal Azure login, anything you type and it will take you. It's widely used service and website, very famous one, so won't even take a minute, right? Now if you already have an account with Azure, you simply go ahead and sign in with your ID and you start creating details. If you do not have that, are you new to use Azure? Yes, you can start here for free, right? But this is a company or something. They want to pay, they want to do something. But as a student, you can take a free account also. I told you already, free account will last only for 30 days. It will have 14,000 rupees, Indian rupees. You can utilize those 14,000 Indian rupees to rent a server, rent a storage or something. You can utilize that, and one person will not be able to exhaust that amount before 30 days, and the validity will be over. You won't even utilize the amount and you will waste it. That is the reason we are creating some groups. Okay, so this is Azure's portal. This is how you can log in. This is how you can create your account using this page. But before we do that, before we go ahead and create it, let's understand that what are the terms they are using. Okay, so to Azure, let's say this is your cloud, and here when I'm saying cloud, now let's stick to Azure. uh, Gradually we are just going to talk about Azure because we are doing Azure course, right? So this is your cloud. This is a public cloud. What is the definition of public cloud, guys? What is the type of the hardware public cloud use?
Virtual machine.
No, very incorrect and vague answer. I have told you guys, do not answer anything in one word, and this is incorrect answer. The question
Hardware
had
is
nothing related to virtual machine. Yes, Joseph, whoever answer, I'm sorry, didn't
hardware
see that.
hardware is owned and maintained by cloud service provider.
Perfect. The public cloud is owned and maintained by service provider. What else? What is the other next point in the same thing?
Shared by different tenants,
Exactly, that is the main
organizations.
point. Yes. So if in the Azure cloud, they have network, they have storage, they have everything. Let's say we are talking about they have their own racks, right? On those racks, they have servers, and those servers are shared by other organization. These are the racks. Let's say they have thousands of them. I'm just drawing few of them. Guys, please make it a habit while answering, you use the complete sentence. If you start answering here in keywords, you will uh, end up doing the same thing in your interviews, and your interviewer is not going to like one word answer. An explanation may be incorrect, but at least it shows that you have some understanding what are you talking about. So there, even if you use an incorrect jargon, your interviewer can give a chance that okay, the person was talking sense, he's talking about the right thing, maybe he just used the incorrect word. But if you just give one word answer, it is definitely not helping you, so try to avoid that. And I always told you not to answer in message window. Message window use only when you are shy of asking. I mean, you should not be, but if you are shy of asking something, that okay, it was very easy concept, and how should I say that? Repeat it. How should I say I did not understand it? Use the messaging one-on-one window. I am happy with that. To answer, do not use message window. Unmute yourself and speak. This is the only thing which is going to help you in your interview. Okay. So now let's say this is Azure. These are the racks. These are the servers, etc. Storage, everything. Now, like Joseph said, these are the shared storage or shared resources. So if your company, let's say we are talking about, we're going to start with Stuti. So Stuti is creating first free account for her company. In this case, let's example for her company. So her company is going to utilize those services. So let's say that now she is taking one server here. Now this is being virtualized, guys. Again, people who are attending this for the first time, we have discussed the virtualization concept in second session. So please watch that once and you will have a better understanding. Okay. Someone has sent a message. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't. Okay, some person is not able to join. Just give me a minute. Okay. So I was saying, let's say that this person, it's planning to have 5 servers. Now here, when I say servers, 5 servers on Azure, is it going to be a virtual server or physical server? What do you think? What are you going to get?
Virtual storage.
Virtual servers, yes. You are
Virtual
definitely
server.
getting virtual servers. But where are those are being hosted? Can we literally have something virtually? Ultimately, there has to be a hardware, right? So those
Right.
virtual servers, those will be hosted on a hardware. Now, maybe let's say this is the hardware. This is the first server for Stuti's subscription, second server, third server, fourth server, and fifth server. These are the virtual servers. So do you think Azure will stop only with one server and waste all of these resources in Azure? Is it going to happen? Do you think that?
No.
No. So Azure, it's definitely giving this resource or this server to others also. Maybe let's say from here, we have some other company. Now let's say Nirmal's subscription. Now she will start creating servers, right? So it's obvious that one of her servers will come here for sure. It may come here also. It may come here also. And then maybe it will go here. But what I'm trying to say is that your servers will be hosted on same hardware, right? But would you like, or any company like that, just because you guys are on one hardware, you should be able to see each other's data, each other's server, each other's network? Do you think any company would like that, or any company would like to avail that kind of service?
No.
No, right? So having on one server also, I want my isolated environment. On Azure, I want my own isolated environment. That is what I called as a tenant, or that is what Azure called is as a tenant. Tenant का dictionary meaning क्या है? I hope all of you understand, right? Someone who's renting your place. You're not the owner of that place. You're just renting that particular portion. So you're a tenant, right? Now you will be a tenant on Azure portal on Azure. Azure has its own cloud, everything, multiple data center, etc. But to segregate, to do the segregation of all companies, it will be treated in terms of tenant, that this is company A or this is company A's tenant. This is company B, it's their tenant, or they are the tenant on Azure. Something like this. Is it clear till here? Who's a tenant and what is a tenant and why do we require a tenant?
Yes.
So tenant, it's to isolate your network, your resources from some other company. So you do not see their data, they should not see your data. You should not see their servers, they should not see your servers. Networking and everything. I mean, being on Azure, being deployed on same server, you still want your isolation. Okay, so this is called tenant. Now, how do you get your tenant? So once you sign in here, guys, you will get your tenant. Your tenant will be with your name or with your company's name or any name which you choose at the time of sign off. That is your tenant. Okay. So let me erase this again. I hope this is clear to everyone. Why do we require tenant? What is tenant?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's again, this is Azure Cloud, the whole cloud we are talking about. Okay. Then in Azure Cloud, you have your tenant, that this portion I am taking. This is literally virtual, guys. Okay, no one is going nowhere and marking some boundaries. That is not happening. Don't literally take this picture. Okay, this is I'm just showing, and this happens virtually. No one literally go and mark some boundaries that these servers they belong to Stutis subscription, these belong to Nirmal subscription, these belong to Zef subscription. No, that is not happening. This everything, it's virtual dividation. So I hope this is clear. Okay, so let's say that this is a tenant on Azure. This is a different tenant on Azure, and this is a different tenant on Azure. So these are called either tenant, and it's also known as Azure Active Directory. So this is Stutis tenant, let's say. I'm explaining the hierarchy, guys, now. Okay, that this, the blue one, the outer range, it is complete Azure. Under Azure you will have your tenant. Tenant is nothing but your company's space which you are renting on Azure. It is not physical, it's just virtual. It is also called as Azure Active Directory. This is the first contact which you have with Azure Cloud. Okay, I mean the first time, even if you want to use services, first you should have your tenant. Without tenant you cannot do anything. Okay, this is your tenant. This is whole Azure Cloud, and this is your tenant. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, ignore the spelling or the virtual, it has incorrect spelling. Now under tenant, just because you have taken a tenant, does it mean you can simply go ahead and access anything? No. After the tenant you have to take a subscription. I can relate it, or we can make an analogy with Netflix or Amazon. For example, you can go to Netflix and you can you want to see the Netflix. Let's say you want to watch a movie, you want to rent out a movie. Can you directly just go to netflix.com without any credential, without any email, without any subscription and start watching movie? Can you do that?
No.
No.
First thing, you will
Sign
have to
on.
create your account. Yes, you'll have to create your account using your email address. Similarly, this is your account is being created. Your company's account is being created on Azure, which is tenant, which is renting on Azure, which is virtual, which is obviously virtual, which is also known as Azure Active Directory. Now, just because you have signed in Netflix using your email address, can you start watching movies for free?
No.
You have just signed in.
Subscription fee.
Yeah. No, my question is, you have just signed in. Can you start watching movies and start utilizing their services?
No.
No. You
No.
will require, yes. So you will definitely require uh, subscription in that. So the second layer is, let's say, the second layer, this is just because you have a tenant or an Azure Active Directory, you cannot simply go ahead and start using services. Similarly, uh, like we have in Netflix, you cannot directly go to netflix.com and start watching movies. No, first you'll have to go to netflix.com, then create your account. And just because you have created your account, you cannot start using services. Again, you'll have to purchase a subscription. So when you go, then Netflix will ask you, what kind of subscription do you need? Do you need HD subscription? Now I'm not sure, so I'm just making a few things. Do you need HD subscription? Do you need I think they have device based, right? Multiple subscription. Do you need multiple devices subscription? Do you need one subscription? Whatever level of subscriptions they have, they will offer you. Similarly, in Azure you will have subscriptions. So the next layer is subscription. The first layer is called tenant or Azure Active Directory, or it is a rented place. It is virtual, it is not physical thing. Then you will have your subscription, guys. Okay, now your subscription, like here in Netflix, you have multiple option. Azure also gives you multiple options, but first understand you have to take a subscription. Okay, so there has to be one subscription. Now, what kind of subscription are you taking? It is up to you. What kind of subscriptions do we have? We can take pay as you go, which clearly means that you use the services first and then you pay. You'll just have to simply register your credit card and you can start doing that. That is your pay as you go. You use virtual machine, and at the end of the month, you will get billing and you pay for that. This is one type. The another type is free account, which you guys will be using as of now. The another type is which you normally see in companies, that is EA, which is enterprise agreement. This pay as you go, you will see it in very small companies, guys. Maybe just 5 or 10 employees or 20 employees, you will see pay as you go concept. Huge companies where you would be targeting your job and their clients, for example, you're targeting job in TCS, their client is Bank of America, they will never go ahead with this pay as you go and basic things. They'll always go with enterprise agreement. So if they ask you that what kind of subscription have you worked on, you can say, I have worked for small clients also, they were using pay as you go. I've worked for bigger clients also, they were using enterprise agreement. And these questions will come the moment you tell them that you are an experienced candidate. They just to check you, they will ask you, okay, so you are an experienced candidate, how what kind of subscription have you worked on? So this is what you can say. Okay, is it clear till here? What is a pay as you go, what is free account, and what is an enterprise agreement? Free account you will never see. This is just for our practice and sessions. In companies you will never see free account. So is this clear, guys, till here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now some deviation from Netflix. Let's leave the Netflix behind now. Okay, and these I was representing different subscriptions. So we are discussing them later. Now under one tenant of like Netflix, one email ID, you can have one subscription. But in Azure, under one tenant, tenant is what? Your company's space. In this case, this is Stuti's tenant. Her company, she bought a place on Azure, right? And now she's planning to have some machines. So for that, she required one subscription, at least one subscription. But in Azure, you can have multiple subscriptions also. So let me quickly draw it again. Don't want you to confuse. This is your cloud Azure specifically we're talking about. Under Azure, you have taken your tenant, right? Or it's your Azure Active Directory. It is virtual. I'm telling you guys, no one literally go and mark some space and in their data center. That is not happening, right? This is your tenant you have taken. Now under tenant, you have an option to take subscription if you want to do something about it. You want to hold virtual machine, so you will have subscription. But the option here is you can have one subscription under tenant, or you can have multiple subscription under that tenant, and there's no limit to that. And you can have pay as you go subscription. Subscription 1, this is pay as you go. Second subscription, you can have as enterprise agreement. Third one could be CSP, or I will explain that later. It's not that important. Or let's say another pay as you go. Could be anything. There's no compulsion to that. And it's not only 3, you can have 4, 5, 10 subscriptions. It's up to you. You can have all of them, maybe enterprise agreement. You can have all of them as pay as you go. It's up to you. So is it clear that you can have multiple subscriptions, guys? Is this clear to you till now? It's not a mandate. You can have one subscription
Yes.
and run whole company. You can have multiple subscriptions. So why do we have this option to run the multiple subscriptions? I'll explain it to you. Multiple subscriptions you could have for the billing purpose, because your billing is attached to your subscription. Your billing is not coming at your tenant level. Your billing will come at your subscription level, guys. So in one company, you may have different departments: legal department, advertisement department, marketing department, sales department, actual operation department. You could have HR department, any department, training department, CSR department, and you want to see housekeeping department. You want to see how much are they using on cloud? How much am I earning from them in business, and how much are they spending on cloud? And even if it is a housekeeping one, you would say how are they spending on cloud? Maybe housekeeping, they have some their application or something where they just mark, okay, this cleaning was done, this is not done, some sort of application they're using. So they are also spending some amount on cloud, but what am I getting in return from there? So comparing business results with the cloud expenditure, that will be easier for these guys. That could be one reason they can have multiple subscriptions. Second reason could be, though it's my one company, but we have multiple applications and all application owners are different, and they do not even want to share data with each other. They don't want to share anything, though they are part of one company, but they're completely dealing separately. For example, or maybe one group, let's say Tata Group or Bajaj Group. They have Tata Motors, they have Tata Insurance, they have Tata consultancy services. They want to have different subscriptions, right? They don't want to mingle with each other. That could be the reason. There could be n number of business reasons. You don't have to worry about it, but I just gave you few examples. So for in that manner, you can have multiple subscriptions also. You can have multiple tenants also. Tata itself can have multiple tenant. Tata consultancy services on you can have Tata Motors. Both options are available. Is it clear to everyone? So you'll never say that we can have only one subscription. I've seen 70 subscriptions also.
Sorry.
I've seen 70 subscriptions also. 70.
Okay.
So in real time, you can see these many subscriptions also. It was a different approach those guys were following. They were creating subscription based on their branch level. So I that particular client, they had many branches. Example, if they have one branch in Pune, they are creating one subscription for Pune. So they want to see how much they are spending on cloud from Pune branch, how much they're spending on cloud from London branch, how much they're spending on cloud from XYZ branch. So you will see any kind of arrangement or agreement. So you can see multiple subscriptions. So in interview, never say that we can have only one subscription or I have worked only on one subscription, because it's a normal thing to have multi subscription. I hope this is clear till now here, guys. So we have cloud. Under cloud we have tenant. Why do we have tenant? So our data, it's not mixed up with other companies. Under tenants we have subscription. Subscription could be because of billing requirement, could be of data requirement also, right? So it could be any reason. Now the next layer, under subscription you have resource groups. Now be it one or multiple, we are just discussing in one now. It applies same. So under subscription you have resource groups. So if it is a small company, guys, right? If it is a small company, they don't want to have multiple subscriptions. They'll say, okay, I'll have only one subscription and I will segregate these details at the resource group level. Resource group, frequently you will hear it called, they call it RG, right? So it's a resource group. So these are the resource groups. Now under one subscription you can have resource group. Now why could you have resource group? Why would you have resource group? You will have resource group, two conditions. One, it's you cannot create any resource without a resource group. If this comes as an interview question, please be clear with it. There has to be one resource group. You can have everything in one resource group if you want, but there has to be one. You cannot simply go ahead and create something which is at the subscription level. Under subscription there has to be one hierarchy, which is resource group. Okay, and why you could have multiple resource group? Again, same reasons. It could be billing, it could be subscription, it could be billing, it could be accesses, it could be businesses, it could be branches, it could be departments. I could have another resource group for HR department, could have another resource group for legal department, I could have another resource group for sales department. And under resource groups, then you guys will have resources. What are resources? Resources are nothing, your virtual machine, your storage unit, your networking, your backup, your SaaS, your PaaS services, whatever you're talking about, those are resources. Those you will have under resource groups. So is this hierarchy clear, guys, to everyone? Very important. If you don't understand this, you'll face some problems in upcoming topics. How these are connected, connectivity, hierarchy, what kind of level, inherit access, don't get into that. Is this clear what I'm trying to tell you till now? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Anyone who did not understand, guys?
Sohail, I'm getting little confused in this resource group.
Resource group are nothing, it's like folders. Under your subscription you will have some folders, and in that you can create your resources. Yes, guys, anyone else who did not understand? Only 10 minutes are left. I have to show you the portal also. So if no one has questions, let's proceed. Okay, so this is the hierarchy we have. On cloud, we'll have first tenant, then we'll have to get one subscription. Under one subscription, and under that tenant, we can have multi subscription also. We can have one subscription also. Under subscriptions, you will have to create resource groups, and under resource groups, you will create your own resources. And this one, which I was showing, that how we are going to practice. And let's say Stuti has taken her tenant. So Stuti will take tenant. Under that tenant, she will take one subscription, and under that subscription, she will create resource groups for you guys. Whoever is in her group, she will create different resource groups, and you guys can create your resources in your own resource groups. We're going to say this everything in practical, don't worry, and I'm sure you guys will be able to relate it that time. But is this clear to everyone? And this is our arrangement, this is our understanding, that we are creating one subscription and we are dividing it on the persons based, that one person will have one resource group. I told you it could be application based, it could be location based, it can be anything. The most common thing which you will see, 1 tenant, 3 subscription. What are those subscriptions? Development subscription, production subscription, and pre-prod subscription or test subscription. These 3, this is very common setup you will see, very common. 1 tenant, 3 subscription, and in all of them you will have different resource groups. Test, dev, and production environment. This is very commonly used arrangement for subscriptions, but you can see anything. I told you I've seen 70 subscriptions also. I've seen 1 subscription also. So there's no technical uh, condition in that. It's completely a business decision how they want to do it, but you should have the understanding what comes under what. Your subscriptions are not coming under your resource groups, right? Your resource groups are coming under your subscription, and your resources, they come under your resource group. So is this hierarchy clear to everyone, guys?
In resource group, like for example, if there is one client who want to take a resource group, he will add in development, production, CPU, and memory, right?
No, sorry, didn't get your question.
Like for example, as you said that resources will be, in like basically development, production.
No, I said resources will be in resource group. See, development, production, these are just names. You can use it however you like. You don't want development, production, anything, you simply have 1 subscription, it's fine. It's completely fine if you want to go with 1 subscription. Let's say I don't have any development subscription, nothing. I have 1 subscription. Under that I have resource groups, and under resource groups I will have resources. What are the resources? The example of resources: virtual machines, storage, SaaS, anything, whatever we are using on Azure, these are called resources. So we required 1 resource group to have resources. And nesting resource group, it's not possible. Anyone understand what does it mean if I say the nested resource group? Because the interview question will exactly like come this. It's nested resource group allowed. So what do you understand by that, guys? Anyone know what is a nested resource group, or what is a nested thing? What do you understand by nested?
Joining two things together.
Yeah, not really, but let's say having a resource group in a resource group. It's okay, Uzaif, I already answered that. Having resource group in a resource group. Under resource group, I can have resources, virtual machine, storage, etc. A client is asking, or your interviewer is asking, can I have a resource group within a resource group? Is it possible? No, this is not possible in any circumstances. No workaround, nothing. You cannot have a resource group in a resource group. This is called nested resource group. So if a question comes, is nested resource group allowed or possible in Azure? It is not. In fact, it's not there in AWS or GCP also, but we are learning Azure. So nested resource group, it is not allowed. Is it clear, guys, to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we have only 4 minutes. Let's not start creating portal. We'll do that tomorrow. Instead of that, let me show these things to you in practically. It will give you better understanding. Tomorrow we'll start creating the portals, and I'll have to create groups also. So today also you have some theory to read.
Sohail, what is the meaning of nested resource group?
I just explained. Can someone explain it to her?
Like we can't create, like if we already have a resource group, we can't create another resource group in that resource group.
Simple. Is it clear? Whoever asked the question?
Thank you so much.
It's simple, that a resource group within a resource group. For example,
Well, you even said that we can have multiple resources in the resource group.
definitely you can have, yes. You can definitely have multiple resources in resource group, but you cannot have a resource group within a resource group. And can you have a resource directly on subscription level without a resource group? Who can answer?
No.
Yes,
No.
you cannot. Correct, guys. You cannot.
You need to have a resource group first.
Yes, yes. So these are the learnings for today. At least I'm expecting that this is clear for you, that you cannot have a resource directly on a subscription. You have to have one resource group. You cannot have resource group within resource group. And the understanding of the subscription tenant and within the cloud, I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, now this is the Azure portal, guys. Now the ID which I used, I am logging into my tenant. This is my tenant. I'm logged into my tenant. I can have a tenant without subscription. Okay, I can have a tenant without subscription, but that's of no use. I can definitely have a tenant, and once you guys start doing that, you will see first we are going to create your tenant, and it won't have any subscription. So you can have a tenant without subscription, but is it of any use? No, not at all. Can't do anything with it. So next, it is as good as that you sign up with Netflix with your email ID, but you haven't purchased a subscription yet. Exactly same analogy you can apply here. Okay, so this is my tenant. Under tenant, guys, this is the subscription. I'm showing it to you. In this case, I have 2 subscriptions. Okay, don't go by the name. I can rename it whenever I want, and you guys can rename it whenever you want, but I have kept it purposely. So this is one is pay as you go subscription I have. So whatever I use here, a bill will come at the month of at the end of the month, and I'll have to pay that. And this is my trainer subscription. Okay, but I'm not discussing trainer subscription there because that is not no one is going to ask you. We will be focusing on pay as you go and enterprise agreement. These are the only 2 subscription level you will be subscription type you will be dealing with. So these are the subscription. Now under subscriptions, we have resource groups. I'll show you the resource group. These are the resource groups, guys. See, I've created for my previous students, old students, that they are practicing here, and I can go ahead and check. And some of I have based on for my practice also. I was practicing Azure OpenAI. I've created one folder for that. I've created one resource group for that. Now the question was, can I create a resource group within resource group? So let's check quickly. This is a resource group named Shweta. If I click on create, I can get multiple options to create resources, but no resource group. So a resource group within a resource group, it is not possible. Only 1 minute is left, guys. I'm going to finish today's session. I'll post the questions, go through them. I'll add the questions here also. I'll put them in group also. Tomorrow we'll start with creating your subscriptions. That is the first thing we are going to do tomorrow. I'll create the groups today. Okay. See you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And today I'm going to post some questions. Please read them properly. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you,
Sunil. Bye.
Selvai. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.